This episode of Bothering the Man with Seán Barna is all about Kismet. Our producer, Abby, saw him open up for the Counting Crows in Boston, loved his music, thought it was a great idea to have him on the podcast, and here we are. Seán.
Hello.
Hello. First of all, thank you so much for doing this. My name is Ryan. This is my producer, Abby.
Hi.
We'll talk about it more in the pod, but she saw you open for the Counting Crows and was like, "This guy's great. We should get him on the pod."
What city was that?
Boston. It was the last show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Supposed to be the second show.
Yep.
So yeah, this is, we have some really great dumb questions for you. Anything goes. All right, I'm ready if you're ready. We're ready if you're ready.
I'm going to take this thing away from one of my dogs has something my other dog wants, and it's going to cause problems. So just give me 1 second.
Yeah, do your thing.
All right. Sorry. One's a puppy, and then the other one's whatever. Who cares?
We care. You have to tell us all about them now. What kind of dogs are they?
Yeah.
The one that's barking is the older one. She's a Corgi Beagle Terrier. So it looks like a Corgi on stilts, kind of. And the other one is a Australian Shepherd mix. And he's a baby, kind of. He's like 10, 11 months or something, but I don't know. They're ridiculous. Like he gets something from her and then she barks at him instead of just taking it back. And then I have to intervene. Very whole lifestyle.
Dad life.
Yeah, it's my boyfriend that wants all this shit. And here I am.
Well, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing?
We're doing well. That's how we're starting this episode. Just that whole audio sequence. That's a lot of fun. Where are you right now in the world?
I'm in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, in my house.
Okay. Beautiful is purple, lavender?
I don't know. Again, purple. I don't know. There's other shades, I'm told, but I just call it purple. You can't see the other dog. I was trying to show you the dogs, but
tell the listeners about the lovely painting behind you.
Well, that's
is that Maggie Smith?
Maggie Smith holding up the middle finger, dressed as the what is it, Countess or whatever in the show. What's it? Downton Abbey.
Downton Abbey, yeah. For those listening, this is an audio medium. It's Maggie Smith giving the finger right behind Seán. This is great.
The important thing to know is that I actually sit here all the time. It's not, I didn't put that up for this. It's there like when I do work stuff, sometimes it's just there, but that's just where it is. So everyone has to deal with it, I guess.
Oh, it's a perfect background, especially for this show. Abby, you should take a screenshot of this because he looks great. I have to know when it's not on the Zoom here, but when you sign your name, do you do the little chub chick over the E?
It's over the A actually,
or over the A?
Yeah, I've started to. I mean, I don't know, for the kids listening out there, Facebook used to be better for one thing, but it also used to have your personal profile, and if you had a music profile or something, it used to be that you couldn't tell the difference between the two. And so I wouldn't know if I was on my artist profile or my personal profile. And I was like, well, maybe I need a band name. And I was like, well, I'm not going to do that. So I put an accent over the A, which is actually the old traditional spelling of Sean. That's actually why it's pronounced that way and everything. And I got so much shit for it. It's like if I had called myself like the Kitchen Counters or something, then nobody would have said anything. But I put an accent over the A in my name to make it even more traditional. And I got a lot of shit.
When you say shit, what do you mean? Like people
friends
like,
making fun
bro.
of me. Friends who don't write songs or write bad songs making fun of me.
Oh, that's no good. Just for the record, I wasn't making fun of you. I was just more or less for our records if we should put it there or not.
Yeah, it's I like it. It makes itself on most posters.
Note
most posters.
Putting it right there.
I mean, I like it, but
what was your favorite show as a child?
Favorite show as a child? Oh, like I was thinking concerts. You mean like show, like when I was a kid?
Well, now we got to know both. But
well, let's do it. Well, let's start with when I was a child. I would before I went to kindergarten or right after I got back, I would watch The Price is Right obsessively. I like the wheel. It was on right, like I think it was on in noon or something. So or whenever it was, I could watch it because kindergarten was half days back then. I don't know if it still is. I could watch it right after I got home from school. Other than that, the Ninja Turtles, the animated series from back in the day.
Nice, good call.
Yeah. But then when I was 12, I went and saw Fleetwood Mac on the dance tour, and it's hard to beat that.
Yeah. Two good answers. Price is Right makes me think of being sick from school or pretending to be sick.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like on right in the middle of the day, which I think most game shows are on at night, but that one's always just been in the middle of the day. And it's, I think, the most popular one.
Is it still on? Is Drew Carey still hosting it?
Yeah. They just had a big anniversary. I think
wow. Do you still watch it?
No, I don't watch any TV at all.
Zero.
I do watch interviews pretty obsessively.
Okay.
And Drew Carey was doing some interviews for it, so I did watch that. But yeah, I don't really like TV. I do, like occasionally, like for example, I tried. So my partner loves TV, wants me to watch all these fucking shows, and I try, and it's usually just bad, I think. But I've been watching Ted Lasso with him, which is actually, I usually like darker stuff. Ted Lasso's so good in the first season, and then the second season, it goes way off the rails, so bad that neither of us really want to keep watching it. So that's where we're at with that.
Oh, I liked it. I thought it went darker. It went
second. They had that weird episode. They had that weird episode that didn't have anything to do with anything.
With the beard guy.
Yeah, and that was fine. But then it's just I will probably go back to it, but it kind of lost everything for me. I've been kind of watching The Sopranos again, but I know it so well, and I don't really need to do it.
Yeah, but no Downton Abbey.
I tried watching that years ago, and I thought it got just kind of bad.
Yeah,
it's hard to maintain a show well.
Agreed.
Not that I've ever written a show.
I'm looking down in this list, and I do have. This is weird, and I didn't plan this like this. It's what was your favorite live concert? Favorite concert you've ever been to? So you sticking with Fleetwood Mac?
No, I mean they were great. That's the best they've ever sounded because they were like not too old yet, so they still sounded good, but they also weren't strung out. So it was like this perfect time. My favorite live concert is as follows. I was in AmeriCorps, like AmeriCorps volunteer, and I was living in rural Colorado for a year in a town called Paonia, Colorado, and it's part of the North Fork Valley. In this valley, there is Paonia, where I was, Hotchkiss, where I worked, which is like 9 miles down the road, and then Crawford, which is like the other part of the triangle, Crawford, Colorado. I was walking out of a coffee shop one day and looked to my left and realized that I was walking with Joe Cocker. I think it was 66 at the time. And we were just walking. I was just like, whoa, because he's like my favorite male singer. Janis Joplin's my favorite female singer, but he's my favorite male singer. And I learned quickly that he actually lives in Crawford, Colorado, just a few miles from my house. And he has an organization called, he's dead now, but the Cocker Kids Foundation. And he basically, there's not a lot of money in this community. Basically, he built 3 libraries for the various towns, beautiful libraries, built a radio studio, Joe Cocker Studios, in town, like an NPR type of thing. And he also gives music lessons to kids. So anyway, I was working for an organization and wrote a grant to get like library books and some other like science stuff because I was at a river restoration organization, bunch of stuff. And part of the thing is you have to like help them with a groundbreaking or do some volunteer service with the organization, whatever. I got the grant. They called me. They're like, hey, are you 21? I was like, yeah. Like, can you serve beer and wine? Yeah. Like, well, Joe Cocker's throwing a concert across the street from where I live in this town of 1,000 people at the fairgrounds, and they need people to serve beer and wine. Could you do it? It's already like my favorite singer. I've already seen him. And so I walk across the street a few months later and go basically bartend at this concert that had like 4,000 or 5,000 people at it. And he brought his entire band. His band is notoriously great, the background singers and everything. And I watched a Joe Cocker concert in this town of 1,000 people. She basically like quadrupled the population of the town. And I was bartending for the first 2 acts. And then when Joe Cocker came on, my boss said, my dog is going crazy. my boss said, well, grab a beer and go watch the show. And so that was the best concert I've ever seen. And he sounded great.
I think the narrative of that one makes it unique, of course, and special. Kind of kismet, how you came into that one.
Yeah, it's just cool. I mean, I've seen lots of people. I mean, saw Crosby, Stills, and Nash and Young. And that was great. And I just watched Counting Crows 22 times in a row, and they are the reason I started writing anyway. So, I've seen lots of good concerts, but that one has a little special narrative to me. It's kind of a special place in my heart. So,
yeah. Oh, man. Well, I'm going to skip ahead. Has Adam Duritz ever made you a meal?
Yes.
He always posts he has the cooking thing. What did he make you?
Well, I'm a vegetarian.
Okay.
He is not at all. I think that fucker will eat anything. But he had me and my partner up for Thanksgiving one year. Maybe it was Christmas, but he had like a bunch of his family and closest friends there. I think I might have been the only vegetarian. And he made me an entire separate meal, vegetarian food. He's a really good cook. It's not, he's really fucking good at it. It's no bullshit. He, when he's not releasing records every 5 or 6 years, he's cooking, and it's really good. And he went out of his way to make sure that I had stuff to eat. Like he made whatever he made a vegetarian version of it at the same size for me. Cause even like things that you could make vegetarian, he often has meat products in it because it makes it better to him. He's made me many meals. Also, when I got out of the hospital, he let me stay there for a night and had bought me a bunch of insurance stuff because I had a bunch of intestinal surgery. And so, yes, he's made me many meals and bought me many meals. Not to mention he paid for catering at every concert.
So you had mentioned to us via email that you had come back from tour and you had to work. What are you doing for work?
I'm basically bartending.
Okay.
I'm normally this time of year, I start getting asked to do political work. So for the past number of elections, I've been running direct mail programs for progressives, writing them and the whole thing. I've been doing that on and off, meaning every other year for like a decade or whatever, but that hasn't happened yet. So I'm just bartending and trying to figure out touring in March, and I don't know, lots of stuff going on and none of it really happening fast, but yeah, just bartending. That's the answer.
So what's it like going from, playing to a giant crowd to going and serving mojitos?
It's really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. At first I was sleeping like 18 hours a day, probably because I was tired, but it's a really, really, really difficult adjustment. Anyone getting off a tour, but in this case, it was, it was just like such a heightened experience. I've toured before, but this was just next level. And I'm opening for a band I absolutely love. And every night I get to hear them play their 25 hits or whatever to people. And not even only their hits, but like their new album and everything else. And it's just really special. And they treat us so well. And I'm friends with the guys in the band. It's not like, people open for Bob Dylan notoriously don't ever get to meet him. But like Adam's one of my best friends. And like, there was no one backstage. So we just wander into each other's dressing rooms and shit. It's just really special. And then I come back here and I'm like, shit, where do I get money? What do I do? I need to do stuff. So it's not an easy adjustment. It's been very, very difficult, if I'm honest.
Yeah. I read somewhere you call it post-tour depression.
Yep.
And I don't know, just tell us, like, aside from what you just said, what does that feel like? So it's not poetically humble to go, I bartended for 15 years and know what it's fucking like. It's not poetically humble to go back to your roots.
It's not that. I don't mind working, and I'm from a working class family. I'm not ashamed to work. That's not really what it is, but so let me say it this way. So normally when I go on tour, I'm playing in bars and clubs, right? And when I come back from tour 2 weeks or whatever it is, you end up spending a lot of for a couple weeks, you're like in the bar every night because you kind of miss the vibe. Okay. Yeah. This was like amphitheaters with like 9,000 people in them. And you walk around and I'm signing shit and I'm taking photos and all this stuff. And I know that I'm like having an impact on people's lives, especially young people. And I'm hearing about it. And then, you know, and I don't have to worry about anything. I'm basically living the dream I've always had every day for 2 months. And then I get back home and no bar is going to fix it. No anything's going to fix it. It's like, I haven't touched an instrument since I got back. I set them up just so I can kind of get back into it. But it's just a really severe, like, inability to, like, you knew where you had to be every minute and every day in your sound check, and you knew what you had to do, and you knew how to take care of your voice and all that stuff. And now I'm just like, the fuck am I doing? Like, even like little things like taking out the garbage seems impossible. It's really just depression, I guess.
Yeah. It's PTSD almost, you know,
and I know they're going in Europe. I know they're going to Europe for 2 months, and I don't know if I'm going yet or not because he hasn't answered me. I'm sure I'm not, but like, I don't know for sure. And I'm trying to book a tour to South by in case I get in.
Oh yeah.
But you just never know. So.
Man, this is why we started this podcast, because I feel like, you know, we're such music junkies, and as fans, we overlook these little idiosyncrasies, these doldrums that, you know, our favorite people go through. And
it's wild. And money is the biggest thing. People think a tour like that, you make a bunch of money, but I was paid as a solo artist, and I brought 5 other people with me because I wanted to have a full band. Counting Crows is a 7-piece band. They sound great. And I wanted to go with everyone. And, you know, that's 3 hotel rooms a night for 2 months. And
yeah.
So now it's just like, I need money more than anything. So that's kind of where it's at. I don't know.
Now we're constantly surprised. We have, you know, any number or level of fame or whatever, fortune on this podcast, and a high percentage of them are like, yeah, I gotta go to work right after this. And it's I don't know the word for it, but I think you hit it on the head, that feeling, you know, that listless feeling.
Yeah, it's just weird. And I've had an album done for like a year, and it looks like maybe I'm gonna have a label that wants to put it out, but everything just moves slow, you know.
Is that the one you sent me?
Yeah.
Oh man, we're gonna talk about that because I fucking love it. But we're gonna jump back into really dumb questions. When's the last time you went to a Barnes and Noble? And what did you buy or steal?
I haven't stolen in a while. The funny thing is, I'm obsessed with books. Like, this is the books I have in Philly there, but I actually have in Connecticut because that's where I grew up. My parents I have like every Stephen King book until like 2003 or something. It's a lot of fucking books. And I love books. I love going into bookstores. Barnes and Noble specifically, I don't know. It's funny, as I worked at a place called Union Fair. It's now closed on 5th Avenue in New York City. And it was a restaurant and it used to be Barnes and Noble, but they're all closing down. And it was like a full block long. And it was it had like 4 bars in it, 600 capacity restaurant. That might be the last time I was in a Barnes and Noble, but the Barnes and Noble wasn't there. Honestly, I don't know. I can't even remember.
Do you feel, I was just saying this to Abby, when I went to a Barnes and Noble recently, and it almost feels like, because of Amazon, because of all the online bullshit, Barnes and Noble is like the neighborhood bookstore now.
Well, this happens in music stores too. It's like the guitar store's fucked and Barnes and Noble's fucked because of Amazon, but it actually opens up a door for the little stores to come back a little bit.
Yeah.
Because Amazon's, you know, we thought Barnes and Noble was bigger, Guitar Center or Sam Ash, but these guys can't even come close to competing with Amazon.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to buy off Amazon. They want to go somewhere, and that opens up a lot of space for little bookstores or little music stores or little whatever. I think that's really cool. But I'm sure I probably walked into one on tour because it's a familiar place.
Yeah.
You're on a tour, familiar places, because they all look exactly the same and smell the same and everything. Kind of nice, but yeah.
Okay, I have to ask, did you read Dreamcatcher by Stephen King?
I did when it came out, yeah.
What did you think of this book?
I don't remember.
Yeah. No, I was just talking about the film with a buddy of mine. I was like, oh, have you ever read the book? And he was like,
the film's not good, right?
It's not. The book or the film is not. It's not his best. Right? And it's a hefty fucking book.
Yeah, of course it is. I don't know. He has big misses. He swings big, though. I don't care.
No, I don't care either. I just read his On Writing book, and it blew my hair.
I read that a long time ago. That's actually it's the only book I've ever read about writing that's affected me really. Like, you know, that road to hell is paved in adverbs, he says.
Yeah.
He's, you know, say ly at the end of stuff, or letting people in before the first draft is finished is so dangerous. Like, these are like really great ideas that he talks about in that book that have really stuck with me. But
yeah.
I
You
reread
read it?
because of the new movie. I wanted it to be so great. 'Cause my mom always said to me, she was so pissed that they made it for TV because you have to leave out a lot, especially in the 90s. Though Tim Curry is I think to this day, the scariest bad guy ever put on film. It was made for TV, so they had to leave a lot out. And then they made the new movies, and wasn't bad, but like wasn't great. And I kind of was like, well, maybe I'll revisit the book, but I don't know.
Okay. Do you immediately update your phone, or do you make it wait?
I have a friend who's obsessive about this, and he'll like call me and be like, have you updated your phone yet? Like the day it comes out. Like he's nuts. I love him for it, but I did just do it last night. So definitely not immediately. I don't even usually realize.
Mine's acting up right now. I think it's telling me. Keeps booting me out of Safari and Instagram. All right. Another phone question. Do you store your chargers neatly, or are they a tangled mess?
Nothing I do is neatly. Whatever questions you have about that. No, I'm not neat.
Would you rather a pocket full of glitter or a pocket full of rose petals?
I already have a pocket full of glitter.
Currently?
I mean, probably. I'm gay as hell, so I'm sure there's some around here. I mean, I wore a bunch. Yeah, glitter. Great. I love glitter. Listen, if the glitter's in my pocket, it's not destroying the environment. That's the way I look at it.
Real. Do you know who French Stewart is?
I should.
You're
not even going to tell me, are you? You're just going to move on to this.
No, we're going to move on.
Okay.
Should we tell him, Abby?
No. Do you know who Bridget Fonda is?
Is she related to Jane Fonda?
Yeah, you're halfway there.
Oh, halfway there. Ah.
Do you have any erotic deficiencies?
You took that from my song, didn't you?
Yeah, maybe. Of course. We do our research.
Erotic deficiencies is a it's coke dick.
Oh.
It's also a coke dick, but also like referencing like it's still referencing like queerness is not particularly okay in the culture, and also like having a serious relationship, but also needing to like. I mean, that's a pretty dark song, having to do with like being at a bar and looking for like to fuck, even though you're with your partner.
Wow.
Is that not what you wanted?
That's perfect. Okay. What exactly is Eastern junk dancing?
Eastern junk dancing. I was in New Orleans on a tour. Maybe the South by Southwest tour. Maybe not. Maybe it was even before that. But anyway, I don't know. I was just trying to write a song about kind of being on the road and liking somebody, and it doesn't mean anything. It's just like kind of like I was like, what is it? This thing that I try to do where I'm just, giving up financial security and emotional security and everything else to just go on the road and play these shows sometimes to nobody. And for some reason, I just called it Eastern Drunk Dancing because I was on the East Coast. Generally, that's where I'm from. I mean, then I was down in New Orleans, so it's kind of random, but it's just a random set of words that I don't know. Junk is a negative thing, dancing is a positive thing, Eastern is a location thing, and it's just kind of like I kind of named what I'm doing, like just giving up everything to do this thing that may or may not work out, and yeah, it's just kind of eclectic term I came up with. It's nothing particularly specific, but it's just to kind of like frame the way that I've lived my life for the past 15 years.
I dig it. I like it. So let's all together try to think of what Western junk dancing would be.
Well, I guess if you lived in the West Coast, maybe.
It's
probably slower, more passive aggressive.
Floppy hats.
Floppy hats.
Probably
say words more correctly than we do in New England.
Yeah. What's the last thing you got stuck in your mustache. You have an awesome mustache.
Food, beer, or cum. That's the only things really.
Yeah. How often? Like, so that's perfect. Chicken wings.
I'll put the sticks down. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine, man.
Chicken wings?
Chicken wings.
I'm a vegetarian. I don't eat chicken wings.
Tofu wings.
Seitan.
What? Seitan wings.
I don't know what that is. I assume it's made out of chicken. I just move on.
Yeah. It is surprisingly good.
What about the wings?
I was trying to think of something that's real messy that is inescapable to get stuck in your facial hair.
It's, if you have a wing, you put it in your mouth. It's really like you're biting a sandwich or something. It's bigger.
Yeah, sandwich is big.
It's a mess. But I had long hair for a while and I cut that. And I had to do something that was a little bit ridiculous. And then I was doing this tour for 2 months and I had movie theater size screens on either side of the stage with my fucking face on it. Generally at most venues, not all of them. I don't think we had them in Boston, but my big mustache was just all over the screen. I had makeup on. It was very fun.
And Seitan all over the place.
Satan.
Okay. For those at home, he had drumsticks in his hand. Are you a drummer first and foremost?
First and foremost, yeah. I've been drumming since I was 9. I have a degree in it from Florida State University.
I went to Florida State.
Live in the Matrix.
That's awesome.
When did you go?
2001 to 2006.
I would say 2000 to 2003 till 7.
Well, there you go.
What did you study?
Humanities.
I don't really know what that means.
Liberal arts, but they put a fancy spin on it.
Well, I did music, classical percussion, and jazz, and then I got a political science degree as well. But yeah, I was there.
I took that music class with the guy that they drew the thing.
He was old as fuck.
I took his music.
There was a music professor who they made the Indian.
The logo
was
his face.
Yeah.
I took his music theory class.
In HMU, no doubt.
Wait. The guys who the logo of the Seminole is a living man?
No,
a white man.
I think he died. Now.
How is this not a thing in cancel culture?
It is.
They redid it. They redid it like 2 or 3 years ago.
They just tinted it in Photoshop.
I think are actually in approval of
that's the original one. That's a music professor.
He would walk by all the time. I don't remember his name now, but he would always walk by.
Thomas something, I think, maybe.
Wow.
I don't know, but yeah, okay.
But
well,
I'm
cheers.
a drummer. So I did that, and then I was touring with Broadway shows for a while as a drummer, and I play drums on all my own records.
I was going to ask you if you consider yourself a drummer or a guitar player first.
I'm not a guitar player. I write. I use guitar to write songs, but I could be hired as a drummer by. I mean, I don't know. Eric Clapton could hire me as his drummer, and I could do the job. I cannot play. Why did I choose an anti-vaxxer? Eric Clapton? It's because I was reading about it. But you know what I mean? Like I can play drums at a very high level. But guitar, I just do it for writing songs, and piano even more so.
That's the second time that somebody has brought Eric Clapton as an anti-vaxxer up on this podcast.
Well, it's been in Washington Post. I mean, he's been making a big mess of himself.
Man.
And Van Morrison?
Yeah, but he's always been an asshole. Nobody knew about him.
That's true.
Yeah. No one knew about Clapton. Who else did we talk about? Morrissey. He's losing his shit.
Silly.
Yeah. All these people we like. Are you flexible?
Do you mean in my verse, like top bottom, or do you mean can I reach my toes?
You tell me, man.
No.
I just ask the questions. You answer.
I am not particularly flexible, though I do try to stretch before I mountain bike. And the other thing, depends how drunk I am.
Yeah. Can you touch your toes? You know what I mean.
I don't know. Let's fucking see. Yeah, I can. I'm not I weigh 170 pounds. I'm all right.
Abby, can you touch your toe? You probably can.
I'm gonna pee.
I can't touch my toes. I'm like really far away from them too. I'm like 6.
How tall are you, Ryan?
I'm 6 foot when I stand up straight.
Me too.
Aww.
Is this the most informal podcast you've ever done? I apologize. Does anyone see this? I have CDs if you need them.
Yeah,
all those kids come up to me from high school. I was in St. Louis. I'll never forget it. These 2 kids came up. They're high school kids. And they said, can you sign our CDs? You know, your CDs, whatever. And I said, okay, but like, what the fuck are you doing at a Counting Crows concert? I swear to God. And they're like, well, our parents like them, then we like them.
That's great.
Okay. My second question is, do you even know what you're holding? And they're like, yeah, CDs. I'm like, where are you going to play them? They're like, well, I don't know. Anyway.
Dude, that's good news. That's a good thing that kids are getting into Counting Crows and CDs.
It was great. I had a lot of great interactions with kids. So
yeah. What's the last poetry you read?
Fuck, I don't read poetry.
Oh, you're very poetic in your songwriting.
Well, let's see. I mean, I started reading the Dream Songs, John Berryman.
Oh man, I love that fucking book.
Because I'm a big Hold Steady fan.
Yeah.
Those nights to think of John Berryman. You know. Anyway, here come the dogs. Great. He's mentioned rather a lot, and so I'm trying to get through that. But poetry is hard for me to focus on. I think because I have a bit of ADHD. But I just got a prescription for some stuff that might help. So we'll see. I haven't been reading at all. I can't read on tour, and I haven't been reading at all. So.
You don't find the shorter poems allow for more attention than like a novel?
No, I don't really like novels either. I generally read nonfiction, but
okay.
Poems, you have to really focus on each word and what's going on. I can read, narrative much easier because I don't have to read every word. I can, blast through it really fast.
Piece it together. Licorice, yes or no?
If it's black, yes. If it's red, not so much.
Really? Wow.
I love black licorice. My grandfather, hey, stop it, fucker. Don't bite me.
We're leaving all of that in.
That's fine. I'm sorry. I'm always this informal. I apologize. My grandfather always had black licorice, and I always liked it. And I never liked Twizzlers, like the red licorice, but I always liked black licorice. And he's still alive, and he's almost 90 years old now. I don't know if he eats black licorice anymore, but he got me onto it, and I love it. I don't eat any candy really, but if black licorice is there, I'll definitely eat it.
I knew I was going to ask that question for a reason. All right. Do you have belly button lint right this moment?
So, fun fact about my belly button. So, my belly button 2 years. So 2 years ago. So look at this. See this?
Yeah.
It's scar. So 2 years ago, my large intestine twisted, and I had to go into the hospital because I was about to die. And they opened me up with a 7-inch, incision and took out like half my large intestine. But then they put me back together, and now my belly button does not look like it did for the first 34 years of my life. So, yeah, they had to like put it back together. So actually, like the hair that would normally grow on my stomach actually kind of grows in my belly button in a weird way, which freaks me out. But it doesn't look really weird. But I mean, it's weird to me. I don't know. So I don't think I have lint, no, but it's definitely fucked up.
I have to ask, how does an intestine just twist by itself?
It doesn't. In my case, my large intestine on my right side, it goes up like in a square.
Yeah.
My right side for my entire life, it was not connected, which you didn't know until they went into me. But they could see that, there's some tissue that holds it to your body, into your internal body cavity. And mine didn't have it. So my whole life, it's just been hanging there.
It's just flopping around.
It could have happened at any time in my life, old, young, or whatever. So 34 years old is about as strong as a man can be, really, physically, biologically. So I got kind of lucky, but it could have happened when I was a baby and I would have probably been fucked, or when I was older and I probably would have been fucked. So,
oh man, that's terrifying.
It wasn't great.
No. Do you have any? Well, you have tattoos, right?
Yeah.
Tell tell us about your first tattoo.
Oh dear. My first tattoo is this one. It says Kyle. That's my brother's name. He died when he was 13. He got hit by a car, and I was 18. But about 5 years later, I got this tattoo because I'm scared of needles. But I figured if he could get hit by a car, I could get a needle. So that's my first tattoo.
Wow, man.
I have a song called First Tattoo that I haven't released, but I have it.
What's your favorite Christmas movie?
Man, I don't really like Christmas, but Little Drummer Boy, the song always gets to me. I don't know what it is. Something about him bringing a gift. I'm not religious at all. If I were, I would be the worst Christian ever, maybe. But something about him bringing a gift. It's very emotional to me.
Yeah.
But it was probably Rudolph, you know, the old claymation ones.
Yeah.
Probably the best one, but yeah, Little Drummer Boy. I'm thinking in terms of the song, I think, but the story of him bringing a gift, I think, is very moving.
So the new album is fantastic. You sent us a secret sample. Abby and I have listened to it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I loved it. I loved it a lot. On repeat, and it's definitely, maybe I'm biased, but it's very poetic to me. Especially like in a storytelling sense. And I need to know what you order at Macri Park.
You're usually there, you know, you'll get an 8-ball and like a tequila.
I have done both of those things there.
You've been to Macri Park?
Of course.
Really?
Yeah. I was in McCarran Park, like very close to it this past weekend.
You're in New York.
I'm not in New York, but I lived in New York for a very long time. I love New York. It is my first home. It is my home, I'd say.
So Macri Park isn't. I mean, it's. I'm joking about the order. You know, I ordered like Miller High Life, but
yeah.
What Miller High Life? What Macri Park was to me is this place where like this like island of misfit toys, where people come and you know, people generally, all the people I'm hanging out with, all the queer people don't have a home with their family they were given. It's all chosen family stuff. And you have weird people or artistic people or people that are having a hard time. And they all kind of just come to this place and congregate and be around other people that will accept them kind of no matter what, as long as you're not weird, like meaning creepy. Mm-hmm. But Macri Park, you know, my partner did drag and I was there kind of involved in the drag scene, not as a drag queen, but just as a supporter and friend. And it was just such an important, I was there a bunch of times a week. It was such an important part of my New York experience. And I met so many friends there. One of my friends just came here this weekend to visit us, and they're from there too. But I kind of was fascinated, you know, like in the 70s, like Lou Reed would write about New York or whatever. People would write about a scene, and people don't really do that anymore. People think about the song itself and trying to write a song that's catchy or whatever. But I was like, well, I want to take an album and write about a scene and capture various moments. So like Disco Nap is kind of like, you start with the kind of the emotional like this distress, and then you arrive at Macri Park as if it's this grand entrance, but it's just this shitty dive bar, you know, and all this stuff. And then like the next song, Benjamin Wishaw, is about me going to work, you know, after being like out all night and I'm tired, I don't want to go working, and then I see this beautiful actor. And then Boys and Girls, Erotic Deficiencies is about when like you're really moving and like people are really up. And like it's getting really like sexual and late and all that stuff. And then I don't even remember the next one, but you know, The Lonely is about like you're back to yourself.
That fucking song is so good, dude. That may be my favorite song on the record.
Getting that a lot.
Yeah, I mean, there's just something about it. Abby, you would like this place a lot.
It hasn't even opened yet.
No, yeah, temporary.
Same owners as Metropolitan, which is open, but Macri Park is not open yet.
Yeah, it's one of those places where it's like in that area, it was like, where do you want to go? I don't know. And then you just end up there. Like that was the common denominator for me and my.
I've sat with the bartender until like 8 a.m. while he counts money and make sure he's safe. You never want to leave anyone alone doing that. and just kind of like been there. I was just kind of like I don't know, like a little side protector, you know, because I had security, but
yeah, I used to make my friends do that in the city when I would bartend uptown in Harlem. I'd be like, hey, come here, I'll pour you beers while I sweep, mop, close up, because I'm the only one there.
You can't. Well, they wouldn't let anyone stay alone at this place, like
yeah.
And so I would be there drinking High Lifes and you know, make sure everyone's safe. Not that it's really the power of numbers. Like there's two of us who are gonna fuck with us, and also I kick people out of that bar all the time that are being fucking weirdos to the drag queen. Dude, I would say that, and they're like, well, why do I have to leave? And I'm like, this is a courtesy. I'm not going to touch you. I'm telling you to leave. If you don't leave, that bitch over there in 6-inch heels who walked here in the middle of the day and got on a fucking train in full fucking face, she's not scared of you. And the last goddamn thing you want is her to come over here and remove you from this bar, because they will. This is a courtesy that I was asked to do that. It's like, you don't want to deal with that. And they would always leave. It's dead serious. You want that bitch there wearing full face? It might be dark now, but it wasn't when she walked over here, you know? So like, get out of here. You're going to have to deal with some stuff.
I like what you said about writing about a specific place and how no one really does that a lot anymore. My heroes have done that, where it's so specific. You almost got to look that shit up.
Fucking, I mean, like Springsteen, the Asbury Park.
Yeah.
It's just like Green Street, Asbury Park. Whatever. That's a scene, you know, who's writing about it. Even the way that like Joni Mitchell or Crosby, Stills, Nash would write about Laurel Canyon. Mm-hmm. Adam Counting Crows write about Hollywood or whatever. It doesn't have to be a concept album. I kind of am moving to that. Like I want. There's a place in New York where people can go and be accepted and be safe. Like you could go up to the drag queen, no matter how famous she is, and say, hey, I don't feel safe because of this guy. And the whole fucking show will stop. And that motherfucker will be moved out of the premises. I think that's so important. And, nobody's writing about that stuff. And certainly not queer songwriters in some kind of rock and roll situation, you know, that's like, I don't know. It just seemed like nobody was saying it. So I said it.
It's very poetic to me. I loved it. All right. Well, we can't thank you enough for doing this. That's our fucking show.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah. Do you have any questions for us?
I don't know. How's it going?
Abby, it's going great, man.
That went so fast. How was the show in Boston?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
It was fantastic.
Did you see Counting Crows, the stage manager and the drummer, ruin my last song? That was great, right?
Wait, what did they do?
Nobody noticed anything. I thought the whole thing was great.
I fucking noticed.
Is this where they like cut your audio or something?
No. They the drummer of Counting Crows came on and started taking my drummer's shit off the stage. And the stage manager of Counting Crows detuned my bass player's bass.
Like while you were still playing?
Yeah. And then the show before in Atlanta, the drummer put on a fake mustache, stole this hat from my dressing room, stole some sparkly clothes I had, and came on stage and started singing with me with a live mic. And he's standing next to me singing my songs, which he can't sing. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, they fucked with us bad. But they really liked us, but it doesn't.
I was going to say, that sounds like a thing where you only do if you like someone.
Yeah, like some kind of tour hazing.
Right. Did you guys get what you wanted for this podcast? I feel
absolutely. Aside from, you got to tell us what's next for Seán Barna.
Oh, fuck.
What's next?
I'm trying to book a tour in March, hopefully play South by Southwest, and then looks like my album will be released in late 2022. I'm also going to be part of a Clash compilation album benefiting the IRC. Looks like that got approved today. So I covered Hitsville, UK.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty good.
That's awesome.
I can send you that if you want. You just can't share it.
Your secret is safe with us. Aside from when this comes out. I mean, we're not going to share the music, but we'll tell everyone about it. Like everyone, keep a lookout for An Evening at Macri Park by Seán Barna. It's a fantastic record. Go follow.
Also, I wrote a lot of it on Adam's piano in New York. I was cat sitting for him, and he has a baby grand, and I wrote a lot of it there.
Oh man, see, this is what we live. This is what we live for. Tell us more.
That song, "Be a Man." Okay, so "Be a Man," the song 6. It's the opening track is that slower. Like that's what it started as. You know, if you walk to the fire, would you notice that? I wrote that on his piano. I have like 3 long voice memos of me improvising that. And then when I was recording it, I did that, but I also did the faster version. And then, Benjamin Wishaw Smiled. I wrote that on Adam's piano too. It's very funny.
Man. I feel like you got big things coming in the future. Not that you have.
I fucking hope so.
You do, man. Okay, everyone, you heard it here first. This is going to be one of those things in a year or whatever, when your album comes out, your new album comes out, you're going to be like, what was that little podcast I did?
I like talking to people, meeting new people. It's always cool to talk to new people. So.
Well, we're giant fans. We can't thank you enough. Everyone follow Seán Barna on Instagram. It's just his name. And when you write his name, put the little emphasis over the A.
Not on any of the handles, though. You can't do that on Instagram.
You can't do that on the handles, but it is on it's in the title.
It'll all probably work.
Yeah.
My dogs are losing it.
What are your dogs' names? I don't think we got those, did we?
Judy. Hey, Judy.
Judy.
Hey, baby. Hey, girl. Here's my baby. That's my baby dog. This is my best girl. He's an asshole, but he'll get older and I'll like him better.
Well, who's he?
That's Harvey.
Harvey and Judy.
Yeah, go get him. Go get him. Go get him.
I love people names on dogs.
Well, Judy, people are like, oh, Judy, like Judy Garland. And I'm like, yes. And Judy Dench.
Judy Dench.
And Harvey's Harvey Milk and Harvey Fierstein. And I'm actually Facebook friends randomly with Harvey Fierstein. I've never met him, but I don't even know why. But I'm Facebook friends with Harvey Fierstein, and I told him that we named our dog after him. He was very happy.
We got to get Harvey Fierstein on the podcast.
I am Harvey Fierstein.
Oh man, this has been a lot of fun. Again, thank you so much.
No problem. Keep in touch. I'd love to meet up with you too. And if I'm ever famous, which I don't imagine, I'll come back and help you out and do more.
You already are famous.
I wish.
You're signing CDs and shit. All right. This is Bothering the Band. Follow us on Instagram as well. And again, listen to Seán Barna's music and keep a lookout for an evening at Macri Park. This has been Bothering the Band. There you go.
Stand on your princes, post all your prices, paint your lips red, and let's get to the choices. Sure, boys will be boys with their glamour and poise. We came for the party, but we stayed for the noises. Don't need reasons, just East End junk dancing, soft to the touch, baby, just take your time. It's not medicine, just juniper permission. My Margaret Thatcher of the Lower East Side. The mist of the morning, this town is a warning. You're shaking your tits while the world is burning. Won't you come with me? Won't you come for me? Come be a bitch with me in New York City. Don't need reasons, just East End junk dancing, soft to the touch, baby, just take your time. It's not medicine, just juniper permission. My Margaret Thatcher of the Lower East Side. Keeping her counsel with the queens in the corner. She talks, but the boys, they never warn her. Keeps them wanting, but wanting is needing. Down comes the curtain, it's gorgeous, but we're leaving. Don't need reasons, just East End junk dancing, soft to the touch, baby, just